July 31st, 2022. My birthday. The resurrection of the Daily Pop. That's me, Pop, and it's daily. Well, this is all improv. Basically, it's improv because I can't read for crap, but I could do improv. And what is the Daily Pop going to be? Well, it's going to be daily, and it's going to be my stupid outlook on things. Now, today, I'll tell you what I did on. It might be boring. Like today, I went to church. Didn't understand a word they said, but I went because I believe. I believe. I believe if you don't go, there's a problem. So I do go. Do I understand everything they say? No. In fact, I watched the Catholic Mass on TV before I went because I could read what they were saying. So my priest at my local church, I don't understand them. But I knew what they were talking about because I watched it on TV. Stupid? Am I stupid for doing that? Yeah, I am. So let me tell you, today's my birthday, and my daughter Dawn, gave me a gift. You know what the gift is? She's going to get me extra work in shows. Me. Of course, she's typing me as an Italian mafia guy. Why me? I'm such a sweetheart. But they were sweethearts too. I remember my neighborhood back in the Bronx. We had the boys, and they were terrific. No, I mean, I don't know what you watch these mafia movies. They make these guys like crazy people. They weren't crazy. They were just regular people that had a different type of job than we do normally do. In my neighborhood, everybody played the numbers. Everybody, my aunts, my mother, my father. And it was funny because my aunt, she said, after every number came out, she said, I had that number. I said, how'd you have it there? Well, what's my address? 1853. Subtract my grocery bill, 20 cents. By the time she finished, she had the number. Did she ever really have the number? No. But in her mind, she was close. And the best was with the numbers. Do you remember when the plane went down in New York City? And the number on the back of the plane was visible in the news. Everybody played that number and it came out. I mean, people were making, this is ridiculous, a tragedy. And they said, ooh, that's a good number. It's just like, look, my mind goes all over the place. So just stay with it for a while. I was telling the guys about my cousin. She just passed. And she was young. I mean, Columbus don't live forever, believe me. She was like 50, 54 years old, and she died. And I went to the wake, and there was a lot of people loved her. She was an entertainer. She was terrific. And she was loved like, oh, I couldn't believe how many people really, they loved her. And the Columbos, in their own way, are very compassionate. So she had a pet dog that she loved. You know where the dog ended up? With her. And the thing was, they saw some solace in the fact that the dog was 9 years old. I guess it led a good life. I love it. I end up here going, oh, the dog. My cousin died. A human being. And they go, oh, the dog? Oh my God. Why is that? I mean, let me ramble a little bit. I live in Florida in the winter, paradise, and people go around with dogs in strollers, in baby strollers, and they're walking. What kind of walk is that? You're walking and the dog is in a stroller? You don't know if there's going to be a baby in it or a dog. 90% it's a dog. And they got a store in my village that caters to pets, pet outfits. They wear outfits. They get their hair dyed pink and blue. Are you kidding me? I swear. And that store is always crowded. You could buy an outfit for the dog and you could get a matching outfit. Where are we? But it's a village that caters to pets. And they put out little places where the pet could drink and have a biscuit in front of the stores. They eat. When you eat, they're there under the table. I mean, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. But where was I? Oh, yeah. So I was thinking of having a business called The Next Step. And if you have a pet and you pass, they give me a call and I'll take care of it. What's wrong with that? I mean, if you find comfort in having that pet with you when they close the coffin. That's a good idea, no? It's like some people want a nightlight in the coffin. Hello? But yeah, they think, in case they wake up, at least they could see around what the hell's going on. I had an idea years ago, and I guess today it's dated, but I was going to bury people with a mobile phone. But in those days, they didn't have really mobile phones, so I'd have to run a wire to the phone. And it was cheap because you only had to get for incoming calls because there would be no outgoing calls, hopefully. Hopefully you wouldn't have an outgoing call from a coffin. If you did, then that's weird. But I could see the family gathering around on the mother or the father's birthday or Christmas or holiday, and you call the phone number that goes to the coffin, and you get a recording. I'm not available right now, but it's nice that you called me, and I want to wish you all a Merry Christmas, blah, blah. And they're pre-recorded. You do that while you're live, and the people will feel like you're close to them. And I was going to call it the cough phone. Pretty cool, huh? It's a good idea. I mean, it's not ridiculous, and the phone would have a little light in it, like a princess phone. So it had a light that, just in case, you don't know what's happening under there. And God forbid they buried you alive. You could get me out of here. You can make a phone call. No? And then for the people that really have money, they put like one of those dishes that the people could watch TV down there. But that's a little ridiculous. But, this had a lot of legs to it, but it never really took off because I get ideas, but I never follow through. So anyway, this is the beginning of something that's already in existence. It's the Daily Pop. And I haven't done it in a long time, but because my daughter was talking about doing auditions and stuff like that, I said, oh, let me restart that because that was fun. And the whole idea of it was I was going to take it to my McDonald crew, which most of the guys are 90. And at one time we had 12 guys sitting there talking about ridiculous, stupid things because we're ridiculous and stupid. And we talk about these things, and we had so many characters. And it was Tough Tony Novello, who was deputy fire something of the Bronx. That I was looking. He died at 99, He was in the Second World War, and he was in, I guess it was Taiwan. I don't know. It's one of those places where one battle between the enemy, the Japanese, who lost 4,000, and the American lost 2,000. That's 6,000 people, men, in one battle. One. And then he became, like I said, he became a fireman, and he rose through the ranks. He was in the Bronx is Burning movie, and I think he won some kind of Emmy or something for it. And he's the guy in the white hat, tough Tony Novello. So he dies. When does he die? He dies during the COVID, and he has 6 people at his funeral. If it was not that time, he would have had a parade. The fire department would have been cross ladders and, the whole bit. But he died at the wrong time. And I was in Florida, and I wasn't even there. I just heard it was 6, 7 people at the whole thing. So it's a shame. But then there was another guy, Larry. Larry was on a destroyer in World War II. And I used to get his attention because he was below decks in the engine room. So all I had to do was go ping, ping, and he started getting nervous. He says those Germans were good with their, with their subs. They were good. They were really good. But, well, let's get back to what the hell we were talking about, which was, I don't know. Again, it's improv. So I want to talk about this McDonald crew a little bit, and the fact that when you look forward to seeing a guy with one leg and 89 years old, you know your life is over. And this guy Ralph comes, and he's a very quiet guy whose father was a bookie at one time. You got another guy who was in Vietnam. And the other day he goes to the store and he buys $89 worth of groceries. And the guy behind him, because he's wearing his Vietnam hat, pays for his groceries, $89. Now you got to know the guy that I'm talking about, the guy that was in Vietnam. The guy from Vietnam has got well over $1 million. Well over. And he took it. I said, you didn't give it back? He said, no, the guy didn't want it back. So I said, you should have paid for some woman with 2 little children that was standing on line. You just don't walk out of the store and the guy paid you $89. No, and he did. But that's not the first time that's happened to him. So the new thing is now he looks for the guys, then he goes shopping. And he makes sure he gets right in front of them. I mean, this is the characters that we are. One of the main characters of this little clique hasn't been there for a while, because he had what he says 2 mini strokes, fell down the stairs, 13 stairs, and broke. He told me 12 ribs. I said, oh, you got only 1 left. But if he fell down 13 steps, he'd be dead. But he said he fell, and one of his legs is not working, so he can't come. But this guy talks incessantly about everything while you're talking. While you're talking, he's talking. He never stops. No matter what you're talking about, he's on his little roll about stuff that has nothing to do with what the hell you're talking about. And then there's this other guy who last year, I thought he was going to be buried by the time I got back from Florida. He looked like crap. He felt, let me give you the symptoms. Renal failure, whoa. Water on the lung, a valve in his heart that wasn't working. His skin, if you touch him, it rips, he bleeds. So I go away and I said, oh, that's it, I probably won't see him again. I mean, he looked terrible. Oh, and he tells me, he might have to go on dialysis. I said, well, you have to go on it. He says, I won't go. He said, I won't go on dialysis. I says, and why not? He says, well, now listen, this guy could hardly walk. He looks like crap. Can't breathe because of the water on his friggin'. And he says, I don't want to ruin my quality of life. What the hell is his quality of life? He had no quality of life. But he says, I don't want to ruin it. I swear. You can't make this stuff up. So I come back from Florida. He's on dialysis. They operated on his heart. They gave him a pig valve. And at the same time he got his pig valve, the other guy with the one leg, he got a pig valve on top of his cow valve. And he's like the farmer in the dell. His heart is like a farm. He's got a pig and a cow keeping him alive. The other guy's got a pig keeping him alive. And he goes for dialysis and he looks great. He looks great. And he's walking better. Everything is, I said, it's not believable. He's like the guy that rose from the dead. It's amazing. It's an amazing story, and it's all true. So anyway, now he goes to the VA. Every 15 seconds he's going. If he don't go to the VA, I guess he don't go anywhere. He goes to the VA because his skin rips. When anything touches him, it rips. He starts bleeding. He has to get bandages. So he goes to the VA, and he says, "I got no bandages." So they send him a box of bandages that could keep most hospitals supplied. A box so big to keep him in bandages. Every few months he goes for hearing aids. I mean, does hearing aids wear out? He's got batteries like you never saw before. They send them for free. Everything is free. You see, if it's free, it's for him. I don't even know if he has bad hearing, but he has to get those hearing aids because they're free. The other guy from Vietnam, he don't go to the VA. I don't know why, but he don't. And he got hearing aids, he said, for $6,000. Guess what? Couldn't hear for nothing. Then he got a hearing aids that are $79. $79 online. And he says they're better than those $6,000 hearing aids. The only thing, he has to carry a car battery with them. No. They're rechargeable. His hearing aids rechargeable. But he hears. I mean, for a while there, you're talking, nobody hears you. They nod. You can tell them the same thing every day. They can't hear. Say, where am I going with this? So this is just laying the groundwork for, let's see, how can we say this? An adventure. Everybody likes to talk about adventures. Well, I wrote a book, and it's a conversation. A conversation, my grandsons came up with this thing. Well, he didn't come up with it, he came up with the money. Every week they sent me a question for 52 weeks. And it brought back a lot of memories, things I never would think about. I wrote about. And you know what? It's good. It's really good. And everybody that read it said it's really good. And it's a thing you should take on. Just think of a question a week like, who in your life was your idol? Or something stupid like that. What was your father like? What was your grandparent like? It'll let you think. And a lot of them are fond memories. And this one woman who just read it said it brought back memories of the Bronx for her. Because I talk about that. Like in one of the chapters, what were the nicknames of some of your friends? And if, I don't know, I don't know if it's a city thing. It could be anywhere, I guess. I know there's a lot of people all over the country that have nicknames. But where we came from, everybody, almost everybody had a nickname. And the nicknames usually fit the person. Like, we had a guy named Stroop Stroop. What would you think Stroop Stroop would be? A genius? No, I don't think he'd be a genius. And he wasn't. Gagush. Is that guy going to be a scientist? No. Gagush. And he was a Gagush. But then Tiny J, of course, was 6'8" or 6'7". Uh, Jay Gong. Jay Gong had a speech impairment that he, Gong, he had like a little Gong in there. We call it Jay Gong. So what do we name his brother? Andy Bading. Is that apropos or what? My timer is up. So hold on a second. Let me reset that. So again, the nicknames followed you. Like we had the Geek. Why was he the Geek? He'd take a can and break it on his head and smash it on his head without a thing. If we played that game, Ringalivio, where you had to capture somebody and they put them in a den, now they'd set up guards at the den so you couldn't free them. We'd send the Geek, and the Geek would run head first concrete to get the guys out of free all. That was his lot in life. But I know that I hope they're not around listening to this stuff, but it's true. It's true. And my brother, they called him Fat. How do you live with a name like Fat? He was 6'3", 260 pounds. He was fat. And they called him Fat. Another guy who used to walk stumped over, he was 6'4", and they called him Lump. Now Lump, believe it or not, made the NBA. NBA. He played for Syracuse Nationals with Dolph Schayes. And that's, I gotta say, I'm gonna digress, because that's what I do. You don't like it, delete. We were playing basketball in the schoolyard. The schoolyard has a rim that's loose. When the ball hits it, one basketball court, just one. Not full court, just one basketball court. So we played 3-on-3. And those games, they're very competitive, because once you lost, you had to wait for the other teams until you get back your turn again. So you played your heart out. I mean, those games were rough. There was no such thing as a foul. If you came home bloody and your shirt was ripped, you must say, hey, you won today. But those were the games, but we played with one court. And if the Lump didn't come with the basketball, we didn't play basketball. We had one basketball for the Bronx. For the Bronx. My grandson has at least 20. And I got 7 courts in my yard. 7. But this guy, Angelo, the Lump, made the pros. One basketball. The rim that moves. It ain't what you got. It's what you do with what you got. And Angelo, every day, in the winter, he'd come and shovel off the court and shoot. Like if you didn't rip his shirt, hold on to his neck, it was in from anywhere on the court. He had a deadly eye. So I look around, I see what people have, I just shake my head. I mean, you know what saved the Bronx. What saved every kid in the Bronx. So maybe Manhattan and all over, I guess. It's a city thing. The Spalding, that pink ball that you had. that cost like a dime. But God forbid that was a possession that kept you busy all day. If you were alone, you played stoop ball, or you threw the ball against the wall. If if you had some guys around, you played slap ball, punch ball, stick ball, fast pitch it in. Any that ball, 3 box baseball, hit the stick. Every that ball was the ball that saved most kids' lives. Because what would you do without it? And but that was something that I, what you found. If you found the stick, you played a game. If you found the can, it was a game. We didn't have to go to the store and buy all that stuff. Whatever you had, you made do. At Christmas time, one gift, and you better like it. And we did. But that's enough. I don't want to go too long. We'll do it another day. But the Daily Pop is back, so celebrate. Have a nice day.